We've got a few more minutes. I want to take us through the fitness. So what we do, VO2 Max, we did a great podcast on that with Louise Engelbrecht. And we can go through that. But I mean...
So the VO2 Max that we populate this report with is an estimated VO2 Max. You don't get a stress test VO2 Max on your first visit to us. I just want to state that because that's an estimated one according to a calculator. Sometimes if you do have a Garmin watch with a VO2 Max, we'll use that in the report to give us an idea of the VO2 Max. Because before we know, we first want to make sure that the ticker is working before we're going to do a VO2 Max on you.
Yeah.
So we most likely do something like a Cooper test for the VO2 Max estimate later in the program, not on your first visit to us.
And there you can see why we do it. We want to check what it would be if you lose 10% per decade, and this person, when he's 80, will be at around 30. We want people around 30 or higher at 80. And our report then describes what this says, and it gives a little bit of an explanation of each one of the headings. We then talk about, so just as that number, before I move on, someone asked me, but why do we do VO2 Max? Why do we do grip strength? And it's just because we know the amount of work behind moving that needle. So to move a VO2 Max from 44 to 54 means you're training 2 to 3 hours a week extra. So that's why it's such a good predictor, because you know how much someone needs to move that number forward. So hence we use that number. Same thing with the grip strength. You know how many things he must pick up. You know how many strength training he needs to do to have a good grip strength. So the amount of work that lies behind a grip strength is why it's such a good predictor.
Yes, and because we like data, we like numbers, and we've got numbers that's validated, and we can compare year on year if that number is moving in the right direction. Yes, absolutely.
And that's why we do push-ups, squats, and grip strength. Again, we can use it year on year on year. It's something that the human will be able to do all the time. So and if you have an injury, we can't use it, but most people...
So if we look at the data of the exercise data, that's still the most important thing that you can do. So the idea, you can almost say you need to start with exercise before you do anything else, if your ticker is fine.
Yeah.
So we focus, year 2, we focus a lot more on this side of the equation.